Has the Spain women's national football team take on the Lionesses, England's women's national football team at today's grand finale of the FIFA Women's World Cup. All eyes will be glued to the match later today in Sydney as both sides aim to secure their first Women's World Cup trophy. In other news, we have updates from the violence in Ukraine and wildfires in several parts of the world. Good morning, I'm Prarambha, Dahal. Let's begin with the main stories. Opposition CPNU-ML's obstruction makes operation of the House of Representatives meeting uncertain today as well. Speaker Khimere calls for a dialogue. Koshi Chief Minister Uddhav Thapa prepares to seek a vote of confidence. Meeting of the Province Assembly called. Parties expedite talks. At least 7 people, including a 6-year-old girl, killed in a Russian missile attack at a theater in the northern Ukrainian city of Chernihiv. 144 people wounded, including 15 children. And Spain take on England in the grand finale of the FIFA Women's World Cup, both teams aiming for the maiden tournament success. The title showdown slated for a 3:45 p.m. kickoff Nepal time. Meeting of the House of Representatives, which has been held hostage for around a month, has been called for today as well. However, the meeting slated for 1 p.m. today remains uncertain. Based on the schedule, an announcement is to be held regarding the suspension of parliamentarian from CPNU-ML, Bahadur Mazi, alongside tabling of a proposal to extend the criteria of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission and the Commission of Investigation on Enforced Disappeared Persons. However, the Parliament has not been able to operate as per the schedule because of the obstruction of main opposition CPNU-ML since the 26th of July. UML has been obstructing the House with its demand for formation of a high-level investigation committee to probe the gold smuggling case. Prior to this, the meeting of the Parliament was postponed with a notice on the 14th of August. Despite the efforts of Prime Minister Dahal and Speaker Devraj Khimere, the obstructions at the Parliament are yet to be cleared. Now, Speaker Khimere had invited the chief whips of the ruling and opposition parties to hold talks on resuming parliamentary proceedings today as well. Now, the Provincial Assembly of Koshi Province has been scheduled for tomorrow as Province Chief Minister Uddhav Thapa has been preparing to seek the vote of confidence. Political parties have intensified talks for the vote of confidence in Koshi Province. Meanwhile, the meeting of the Province Planning Commission is scheduled for today to finalize tomorrow's schedule. The province government has geared up to present the financial and replacement bill of the fiscal year 2080-81 tomorrow. The government has made preparation to present the bill tomorrow itself amid speculation of absence of Deputy Speaker Srijana Dhanuwar on the day the Chief Minister is scheduled to take the vote of confidence. At least 47 votes are required for Chief Minister to clear the floor test. However, this is challenging as the opposition CPNU-ML and Rashtriya Prajatantra Party have 46 votes. District Police Administration Dolpa has made public 3 out of 9 individuals who had raped a minor in Jagdulla Rural Municipality, Ward number 1 of Dolpa. Police made public Dharma Raj Bohra of Mazgaon of Jagdulla 5, Ramesh Rana of Kalagaon Salyan and Krishna Bishwakarma from Kushe Jajarkot last night. The incident had come to light almost 7 months after the 15-year-old minor from Jagdulla 6 of Dolpa was raped. The family of the minor, who has been studying in grade 7, has said that she was raped in the Nepali month of Magh last fiscal year. The family learned about the incident after they identified that the minor was pregnant. Zulanotsab, a popular festival of the Mithila culture, has begun in the Madhya region of the country. Zulanotsab, which begins from the Shravan Sukla Tritiya as per the traditional calendar, has enthused the local residents of Madhya region as they are thronging the local temples to observe the festival. The traditional festival of Mithila culture is observed with much fervor by the local residents of the Mithila region. Special puja is held at the temples during the Zulanotsab festival as well. It is believed that the Mani Parvat festival has been observed since the wedding of Ram and Sita. Special functions are also held to mark the festival, which is observed in the Mithila region of Nepal and parts of India, including Vrindavan and Mathura, among others. It is now time for our segment Public Polls, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Polls.
The question is, why has the morale of share investors dwindled? Your options are A. Effects of economic crisis, B. Weak monetary policy, and C. Lack of awareness among the investors. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for the international news. 7 people, including a 6-year-old girl, were killed when a Russian missile struck a theater in the northern Ukrainian city of Chernihiv. 15 children were among 144 people wounded, the police have said. At least 25 people were in the hospitals. Among the victims were people who had been celebrating an Orthodox Christian holiday at church. A main square and a university building were also damaged in the attack. The United Nations called it heinous, while Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky vowed a firm response by Ukrainian soldiers to a terrorist attack. Chernihiv is located about 50 kilometers south of Ukraine's border with Belarus. It was besieged by Russian troops in the first few months of President Vladimir Putin's full-scale invasion launched in February 2022. The city's imposing theater was hit directly. Tiles were blown off the roofs of neighboring buildings, with one catching fire 100 meters away. The theater was hosting a gathering of drone manufacturers. Ukrainian Interior Minister Ihor Klimenko later said all those inside the theater had managed to reach the shelter in time. He said that most of the victims were in their vehicles or crossing the road at the time of the rocket strike, as well as returning from a church. The city center of Chernihiv is a popular area for people to stroll around, especially on the weekend. Now, protesters against police violence placed 14 coffins on a beach in Brazil to represent the bodies of children killed in police raids in Rio de Janeiro yesterday. The youngsters were killed in favelas between 2022 and 2023. Relatives of 13-year-old Thiago Menezes Flocino, who was killed in a police operation earlier this month, joined the march to call for justice at the iconic Copacabana beach. Joint police operations in Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro and Bahia left in the first week of August more than 40 people dead, reigniting police violence and leading experts to question the use of heavy-handed tactics in what some consider a war on drugs. Ecuadorian government has strengthened the security of polling stations and government agencies to ensure the safe holding of the upcoming general elections. The general elections are scheduled for today, which will elect the president, vice president, and 137 members of the National Assembly. Over 100,000 officers, including police, military, and technical staff, will provide security for the elections, Interior Minister Juan Zapata announced on Wednesday. In addition, a 4-day alcohol ban is in place starting from Friday. Electoral Council President Diana Atamainth said earlier that despite electoral campaign violence, such as the assassination of presidential candidate Fernando Villavicencio on the 9th of August, authorities have worked to guarantee the lives of voters and safeguard the right of everyone to vote. So far, at least 44 presidential and congressional candidates have applied for security protection, according to the Electoral Council. The latest poll showed that for the upcoming new government, most Ecuadorians are most concerned about improving social security and boosting employment. Guatemala has been preparing for today's presidential runoff election amid fears of election meddling. Now, voters said they were hoping for calm on election day in the Central American country and that the winner would end corruption, which they see as holding the country back. The front-runner is Bernardo Arevalo, a reformist candidate who promised to revive a stalled anti-corruption movement and reverse democratic backsliding if he wins. Arevalo of the Samiyam party holds a double-digit lead in polls over his opponent, former First Lady Sandra Torres. There were calls for a recount when he finished in second place in June's first round. A prosecutor then persuaded a court to suspend Arevalo's party, threatening to sideline his bid. Guatemala's top court later reversed the ban. Guatemalan President Alejandro Giammattei on Friday evening said he would work to ensure an orderly transition of power to whomever the voters elect. The northern Canadian city of Yellowknife evacuated most of its roughly 20,000 residents due to a large approaching blaze on Friday and Saturday. Now, people left their homes and property behind to seek refuge in neighboring provinces due to the threat of the creeping fire, cutting off land exits and potentially doing worse harm. Residents and tourists drove away on roads flanked by fire and smoke, while local and federal authorities flew out some others. The massive blaze threatening Yellowknife, the Northwest Territory's capital city, made little headway on Friday as firefighters held it back, but strong winds could still blow the blaze toward the city, and it could reach the outskirts this weekend, the territory's fire service has cautioned. An eyewitness video captured out-of-control wildfire slashing Tenerife in Spain's Canary Islands yesterday. Footage from the area showed the fire burning the forest areas of Santa Úrsula, La Victoria de Acentejo, La Matanza and La Oratova, towns that are all connected by the mountain range. The Canary Islands Emergency Services said more than 26,000 people had been evacuated by Saturday afternoon, according to provincial estimates, a sharp rise from 4,500 on Friday. Some 11 towns are now affected. The blaze broke out on Wednesday in a mountainous national park around the Mount Teide volcano, Spain's highest peak, amid hot and dry weather. And now, before we wrap up, here's a look into the top stories one more time. Opposition CPN-UML's obstruction makes operation of the House of Representatives meeting uncertain today as well. Speaker Committee calls for a dialogue. Koshi Chief Minister Uddhav Thapa prepares to seek a vote of confidence. Meeting of the Province Assembly called. Parties expedite efforts. At least 7 people, including a 6-year-old girl, killed in a Russian missile attack at a theater in the northern Ukrainian city of Chernihiv. 144 people wounded, including 15 children. And Spain take on England in the grand finale of the FIFA Women's World Cup. Both teams aiming for the maiden tournament success. Title showdown slated for a 3:45 p.m. kickoff Nepal time. So that is all for the moment. Our next English bulletin is at 6 p.m. Thank you for staying with us. Have a beautiful day ahead.